It was good. We're here with another episode of the New Hood Podcast. We got Venom, aka Josh Nixon. We got Shawn, aka Shawn. And then you got me, D Braxton. Yeah, we're here with another one. But let's get into it. Yeah, unless y'all got something y'all want to plug right now.
I ain't got nothing to plug this week. Been in the
Okay.
crib.
Okay.
Not right now. I'll do it at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
As far as topics, I know y'all had a couple topics. Josh, did you want to go ahead and introduce your topic first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So the topic that I wanted to introduce was what's one thing that you are trying to instill in your kid or kids that you wish was instilled in yourself? Meaning,
Okay.
so I'll let one of y'all go first.
You want to go first, Shawn?
Yeah, I go first. I think there's a few for me, honestly. Um, I think it's to not take life seriously, which
Okay.
I guess that's something that I've kind of like kept in mind as like I've been on my journey through life. Um, because I just feel like you only got one. Hey, you're gonna make mistakes and stuff, but you just gotta be able to enjoy it even in the worst of times and stuff like that. So I think that's one. But um also too, just to like do your own thing, man. Like don't be concerned with what everybody else may think about, hey, if I do this, how are people gonna look at me or what they're gonna think about me. Just having that confidence within yourself and being able to stand on whatever it is that you want to pursue or do, or if it's the way you want to dress or whatever, just being free to, it's your life, man. Just live it. Can't nobody tell you nothing. The next man, what he eat don't make you, you know what I'm saying? So I think that would probably be the biggest thing.
All right,
Okay.
DJ.
What do I want to instill? So mine is kind of like it's seeing stuff through. At an early age,
That's
seeing stuff through. So I always tell people that I was raised primarily by my mom. But not primarily. Well, my mom was I lived with my mom, but I was also raised by my grandparents. But like, a lot of the decisions, everyday decisions, obviously my mom or whatever, right? So, I didn't really have my pops, what I'm saying, growing up. So for me, a big issue that I had that I didn't realize was the issue until I was in early adulthood was like not seeing things through because I wasn't forced to see things through as a kid. So like for instance, when I think I was probably like in first or second grade, I was playing PAL League football. So I was playing for the Vikings in Detroit. The first year I played though, like the coaches was our coaches was our team was by for one owned by like the Q Dogs, and you know how they can be. They can kind of be a little rough around the edges or whatever. So they had us out there. I'm talking about bear crawling and all type of crazy stuff. And I was a kid, I didn't want to see it through, and I was mad or whatever, and I just quit. And my mama just let me quit. And I do remember my uncles and even I want to say even my grandfather was like, nah, you need to see it through. But I mean, it was, at the end of the day, the decision came down from my mom. Like I didn't have to if I didn't want to. So I think like that wasn't like the only thing, but like I distinctly remember that because like as I got older, like those type of decisions, same decisions would continue to be like a hey, if I didn't want to do it, I just didn't have to do it no matter how important it was. And I think that shit, whether that was football, uh when boxing, once I got upset with my coaches, just quit out. When I was in college, was frustrated, was broke, quit out, you know what I'm saying? And it took me until I became like an adult and like really had to like, work on that like self-reflection and all that stuff to like realize that that was a big flaw that I had. Like if I got frustrated with something enough, I just let it go. So it was something I had. It took a like not a long time, but it took like me realizing that the lack of that forceful male figure, you know what I'm saying, telling me no, you're gonna see it through. Like that shit hindered me a lot as a young adult. But as I got older, I realized that that was something I couldn't do. So like or that I shouldn't do. Um and so it made me, I mean, granted, as I got older, at one seeing that blind spot, like I really, really worked on that. Like, nah, you're gonna start seeing stuff through, whether it was picking my ass back up and going back to college, whether it was work stuff. It's like, hey, if you want to continue to do good in this career field, you're gonna have to see shit through. It ain't no just walking away from stuff. So I feel like I could have gone far with a lot of stuff, whether that was boxing, whether that was sports in general, school, you know what I'm saying? I would probably already have my master's and stuff like that had I had that kind of male influence that I needed at a young age to allow to kind of push me forward and say, no, you are gonna see that through. So that's something that now with my son, I'm trying my hardest to say, like, no, we're gonna see these things through. Now, granted, there are gonna be times where you're like, no, this just isn't for you. But yeah, that's the biggest one for me is like seeing stuff through. I feel like that's a something that is instilled through you. And I think a lot of times you see it more from men telling encouraging their kids, their sons and daughters to see something through. And sometimes mothers, that's just their nature to like wanting you to be happy and like not be upset. And it's like it's okay, you can just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that was a problem, like a flaw that my mom had, but it was more in her nature as a nurturing parent to do that. But I know that was a little long winded, but yeah, that was my thing.
No,
Brother,
that was
you
good.
always long with it. Yeah, I'm gonna say, that's you. You're gonna give a great answer. That's you.
I
That's
feel
you.
like that was spot on. I do got a
Yeah, no,
question
no.
for you though. Like, so I think or my question would be is like, how do you know when to like, especially with baby boy, like, how do you know when to like nip it in the bud and be like, okay, this, that's enough.
I
Like saying
think
this isn't for
everything is
you.
situational. Everything is situational. Um, I think it's just having me. I like you can let certain stuff go, but at like for instance, just to go back to the football thing, like I could have decided that football wasn't for me as a kid, but I think a father would have told me you're gonna see through this year, and then at the end of the year,
Next, yeah,
if you don't want to do this, then you're not gonna do this no more. You know what I'm
true.
saying? Granted, I picked myself up and played again, and even played in high school, and I was pretty good in high school and all that. But even in high school, I got into it with my coach, and I didn't like the way he was doing stuff, and I did that again. Like I quit. You know what I'm saying? And surprise, I mean, this is that thing where that male figure, I remember my cousin Kenny, uh, man, he was on my ass about it. He was like, you good, like you really good. Like, why did you quit? I was just mad. I had no reason. I was really just mad at the way that my coach was like running the team. I didn't like it. And I had just quit. That was like my sophomore year. And so yeah, but I think as I got older, I started to like just self-realization is like you can't keep quitting. You know what I'm saying? The older I got, I started realizing how bad of a look that is and how, how complacent you could become doing that. So I think it's just situational, you know what I mean?
I want to touch on something that you just said too. You said that you quit because you had got mad, and that made me
Mm-hmm.
think of something else that I'm also trying to teach the kids, and that's emotional intelligence. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that in the sense of like, or not, well, yeah, emotional intelligence. Like, I feel like that's something that's very overlooked in our community.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know how to control our emotions. We
Mm-hmm.
get mad in that moment and we react in that moment as opposed to taking a second, reflecting on whatever the situation is, and then coming from that angle. And I think this is something that we talked about in the previous in like the first episode that we did too. But that's definitely something that I want to teach them. And I think it's something that's paying off, because I know the other day, my son, he was riding with his mom, and she was they got on the topic of something, and he asked her about her brother that passed away. And she was like, yeah, he got hit by a drunk driver or whatever, and he's in the sky. And my son said, oh yeah, mama, that must have really hurt your feelings. That must have really hurt your heart. I'm sorry, mama. And it's just that awareness of those emotions. Like, and that's something that like I applaud, and I definitely want to like keep pushing to the kids. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Josh, what about you? What's something that you would like to?
Shawn just kind of took the one I was about to, because mine are kind of tied together. It's like three, but to me, they all lead to one. The first one, of course, is just being aware of your emotions and being okay to let those emotions out. Because I feel like where our community, especially me growing up, you was kind of looked at as a crybaby and you kept those emotions, or the mentality, what happens in this house stays in this house, or the stigma of going see mental health or mental professional, when like those things help, and those things could have helped because one, talking to a mental professional, you're talking to somebody that gets paid to be an emotional trash can, that has no skin in the game, and you're able to talk and you feel better about talking instead of trying to always talk to your family who holds things against you, even though it's subconscious because we're humans. Like you keep that, and I think once you do that, it kind of leads to the knowledge is power, and not just saying don't make good grades for me or because I want you to, just because. So when it comes time to you be on your own, you're not picking like a job you hate when you have to go to. Instead, like I was, I was kind of trying to do everything that was gonna make me money. But people said it made money, I signed up for it. Yeah, I kept doing it until I realized like, yeah, I'm not passionate about any of these things. And if I want to find something I want to do the rest of my life. So even if I had to go to work and keep working past retirement, like I don't mind because it's something I love. So just teaching them to be their own person and just research and do things to help themselves. And I was about to say, in the last thing, it was what the hell was it? Damn, I totally forgot.
Hey, while you thinking about that, I just want to say that to call the psychologist emotional trash can, I don't think that's the best
No, that's actually it was a black therapist that told me that because I was gonna stop coming. And she said, why would you come when I get paid? Because she called me an emotional trash can. Saying an emotional trash can is somebody that constantly takes in feelings, but they don't let theirs out. So when your friends steady come to you, they just steady dumping in, but then you're the strong friend, so you have nobody to take in. So you just steady taking stuff in, so you overflow and then you explode. She said, so that's why you go to somebody that gets at least paid for it to be an emotional trash can. Best episode.
Okay.
Yeah, you let them explode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you like, I get paid for it. Like, let's get it again. And
Uh, yeah, yeah, emotions. I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but that's just kind of how our community is. Well, not that's a issue in our community is like
oh,
not have what's up.
I remember the last thing. The last thing was something I never was taught, that you can be your own boss. I feel like we was always instilled to be workers. Nobody ever sat me down and was like, hey, you can be your own boss. You can start your own company. So I never dreamed, imagined my goal was always to work for somebody, but just have a good paying job. And so I want to teach my kids to, like, if you want to, not saying you have to, because it's not for everybody. But
Yeah.
if you want to, just knowing like, hey, you had that opportunity. My bad. That's it. Good.
Hey,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Okay. Going into the next topic, because because that kind of go in with what Shawn hit one of his topics was talking about like supporting people's business. Did you want to introduce that topic, Shawn?
Sure, yeah. So pretty much my topic was, how do you feel about when you come up with a venture or a business idea or hobby, whatever it is, and you're excited about it and stuff like that. And then, you start telling people, hey, look, this is my plan, this is my idea, whatever the case may be. And people may be supportive in that moment, but when you start actually laying the groundwork down and you start putting the footwork in, it's like crickets. It's a ghost town. There's nobody there that like is really rooting for you or supporting you. Um Especially from the people, and I think it hurts worse, or it bothers you the most when it's like it's the people that you would expect to be there first that be the ones that be non-existent. You be having, people that you went to, elementary school with that'll support you before somebody that you have known all your life, and y'all them have not left each other's side since y'all was 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I was just curious to see what was y'all's take on it. Have y'all experienced that? What was that emotion, or what was that thought process that you had in that moment?
You want to go first, Josh?
Yeah. So, I mean, I wish I had the answer for this because I'm currently experiencing now, like with the gaming things, and I was literally just talking to my cousin yesterday about this, about like it's easier to like receive more, not even benefits, just more support from strangers than you would family or friends. And like for me trying to be a realist and not sound bitter, like I understand people have lives and nothing is expected. That's why I think the first thing we make a mistake of is me expecting support just because of who I am, not realizing, you could have something to do. And most of the stuff, it's not even financial. Like I said, it's just showing up, showing support, saying hey in the chat or doing this. And then, just with mind ever, I had to realize everybody don't know technology. So, some people may not know, like when I post this link to go in, like, oh, and then I'm there. So like a lot of my aunts and stuff, like they think liking the post that I had is showing sports. So it's tough. But I think the biggest way I've been trying to combat that is not expecting that, because that's why I made a mistake of just expecting just because you're my friend. And I used to hate the saying it's just because you gave me bacon, I don't gotta give you eggs or something like that. I used to hate that
Mhm.
saying because it was like, nah, I gave you bacon. Like I expect you to get at least give me bacon back at bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like so but I think that's where we make mistakes and expect people. Um, but the but it does to me show you kind of like who all in for you because it's easy to say like, oh yeah, I want to see you do good, but I feel like when I was doing bad, making crazy posts, I had all the attention I need. But when it's positive, I feel it's never the same. So I mean I don't know if I answered your question, but I really don't know the answer. Subscribe.
I don't even think there is a real answer to it. It is more of just like your perspective, and
Okay,
your like I said, your own individual thought process or emotions on
gotcha,
it and stuff like that.
gotcha.
Yeah. I yeah, because I don't really think it's no answer for it. And I do, I guess, like to be devil's advocate in it is like sometimes we also have to be understanding that like support is not always like kind of like what you said, support is not always financially, it's not always
Mhm.
like, and I think people try to support, but it's kind of hard to get behind something you don't understand.
Makes sense.
And then sometimes I think sometimes people want support. I think sometimes people want you to support more, and kind of push their stuff more than they even push it themselves. Because I've had friends who like I just had to just say straight up like, "Hey, bro, I need you to like I'm willing to help, willing to be a part of this, but like I do have my own life going on. So, what I'm saying, if I'm not seeing you like it, because for me, it's easy for me to get behind a situation when I see you like for real out there, like pushing it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like you sweating and you doing it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I want to help, bro. But I've seen a lot of times when people go the entrepreneurial route or wanting support, and then you're like kind of like what they like, some the way that they push it out is like it's kind of like nonchalant. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
bro, it's hard. It's easy to get behind something. For me, at least, it's easy for me to get behind it when I see that you really putting the work in to make sure this shit work. Because it's like this is your dream, not mine. You know what I
Thanks.
mean? So it's like I want this to work. I want it to work for you. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, I ain't like, I got 1,000 other things that I do. I see that you know what I'm saying, could be working on. And it's like, if you ain't even like pushing it yourself and you don't believe in it, why should I even be putting my name behind it? And then sometimes some of the stuff that people do be promoting is like, you gotta understand that I also have a career. Like people will be like pushing like rap music, right? And it's like I'm all for like supporting everything that people doing. But like if you know that I work in a corporation that's like kind of like extremely like sensitive, it makes
Especially
me
now.
look bad if I'm promoting your music where you talking about selling dope and all that stuff. And like, it's just like, bro, like, how do I would love to support that and push, I would love to support you, but like what you asking me to like promote, it kind of goes against the fundamentals of like what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like sometimes in that sense. So not saying that I ain't not talking about nothing specific, but I'm just like sometimes people like they'll want you to promote something and it's like, bro, that like, bro, I can't promote that song. Or sometimes people be wanting you to promote like absolute garbage. It's like you want to push like because if you know me, like if your shit hard, like if you got a clothing line, like my homeboy, when he started his clothing line, Shoes Got My Heart, like I was buying it and buying it and buying it. And there was times where he was about to like give me free stuff. And I was like, nah, don't give me nothing free. Like I don't ask for nothing free at Gucci. You know what I'm saying? So like but your shit look good. Your shit hard to me. So I'm gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna promote it. You know what I mean? But like sometimes people be wanting support about like they want you to support a shitty product. And it's like
Mm.
I don't want to put my name and support behind no
Yeah,
shitty
right,
product. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
right.
no,
So
when you're right,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So that's one thing with it though. So I don't know, like, but I think it's
Yeah, I
people.
think it's a
It
number
is
of
hard.
factors. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say, I also know it's a lot of people from what I've seen, like you said, nothing specific was like when people do multiple things, like, right? So it's like, a woman, you doing this, and then the next minute you doing that. For me, it was gaming, but then I switched platforms, and it was like, whoa, brother, I just got caught up on Twitch, and now you on Kick. It's like, hey, come on, I gotta learn this now. And so I
mm-hmm.
can understand, like, when you steady switching. So it's like consistency is also another thing. Like Brax was saying, I think that consistency comes with just staying, promoting as hard as you can, and just showing the passion. And like I
Yeah,
said, also like the passion, that's what made me realize, like, even if I don't make any money off of it, like as long as I'm having fun with my friends, because like I said, most I game with y'all because that's my therapy, and that's why I had to remember that's why I'm doing it. Because I think once you start trying to get lost in just why is this person doing this and I can't do this, then I think you start losing yourself and start losing why you actually like trying to have fun and stuff.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
say,
That's
only thing I
as
can
long as
say, if you have a business, don't put your expectations on people. That's the
yeah,
biggest thing I could say.
yeah, and that's and you still as a friendship, you trying to help out your friend, but it's like you know what I mean? Make sure that your business plan and everything is tight because like people I feel like people will get behind good stuff. Like if
Yeah,
you selling food and your food fire, like people gonna support it. If you like gaming and like you really good at it and like you pushing that content out, I mean, it might take a little bit longer for people to get into it because everybody not in the game. But like if you make music and your music can kind of resonate with everybody and you pushing it, people gonna support it. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
And you gotta realize Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? People will would like keep doing it and doing it right, and it's gonna get where it needs to get. You know what I'm saying? But if you just doing it, expecting stuff, like yeah, that's how you make the biggest fool of yourself is by
Facts.
expecting something. You know what I'm saying? But that's that's a hard one, man. It is a hard
Yeah,
one
that's a
because I
toughie.
understand, but yeah, I don't know. But we can hop to the next topic.
Yeah.
Uh, let's
What else we
see.
got?
Okay, another one we had. I think this might even been my topic. Do you think it's a bad idea to take marriage advice from somebody that's currently divorced or never married? Do y'all think that's
Brother,
bad
it's the
advice
first trip. I was about to say, like, I'll go. I'm gonna say yes, yes.
at
But
all
also,
times?
I'm not gonna say at all times. I'm just saying it depends on what, because what I've learned is like some DJ said in the first episode, like I don't give marriage advice, I give my experience. So if you're able to give me your experience and it's up to me to be like, hey, nah, that don't apply or it's not. But if you force and saying, hey, you got to do this or else it's gone, that's when I'm like, hey, come on now, you know it didn't work out. Now don't do this. I don't want to be the one to bring it up. So I think like they can definitely give their advice or situations, but I said like it's all how you present it. Like if you just not about to say, "Hey, I got to do it this way," or else it's not gonna work. When I'm like, but if you can give me your experience, that hey, when I did this, I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but when I went through this situation, I handled it this way. You apply it if you want to. If not, let it fly. So I'll say yes. I don't mind. You give me your advice, but you ain't about to just force that on me.
Yeah.
And it's single.
Hey, but you got to put a disclaimer out there. But I don't know. You know,
Hey, got to put the
that's just me.
Like,
hey, that's it. Hey, hey, don't work for everybody now. I tell you, me and mine do it different.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think shit, regardless if they married or not, you got to be careful who you listening to. Like you got to
No,
really
facts.
like it's some miserable people whether they married or divorced, and like they best way of being of a outlet is by like passing off bullshit ass advice to somebody else that's going through something. Like, cause we all know misery loves company, so like you just got to be careful who you talking to, whether they married or single or divorced. Because I mean, I think a divorced person could potentially give you good advice if they coming from a good place because they may have reflected from why it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was them or the other person, because a person could be divorced and they only divorced because they significant other cheated on them. You know what I'm saying? And it might not have been their fault at all. You know what I mean? But like it just really depend on like you can really listen to what how people talking, because most of the time when they're giving it bad advice, they can't help but to sound stupid and like off-putting with their advice. Like a level-headed person, yeah, a person that mean you well and all that, they usually are not going to give you absolutes. They're not going to be like, you need to get rid of this person. You have to. They will probably say something like, hey, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure
You
you
might
know what I'm
want to watch
saying?
yourself.
Yeah, you might want to be careful. You know what I'm
what's best
saying?
for you.
Because me telling you to be careful don't necessarily mean get a divorce. It just means, hey, take a step back and think about how this is going to affect you too. You know what I mean? So like it really just depends on what they do. Because I'm not telling nobody to get rid of nobody. Like I'm
Facts.
just not. That's just because you'll tell a person that and they'll,
They your
tell
dependent
that.
now.
Resent you.
They your
Yeah.
dependent
So
now, basically.
yeah. So yeah, you just gotta be careful of the person that you getting the advice from, because shit, like I said, it's a bunch of like disgruntled people that's divorced, married, and or single. Like it really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Now, should you be always getting advice from can you get advice from a divorced person or a single person? Yes. Should you always be referring to that person? Absolutely not. Really, should you even be doing that with a married person? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Now it is, but it's easier for a married person, especially y'all been married for a while, for y'all to bounce ideas because y'all know the ins and outs of like getting that in that 7 years, 5, 6 years, and y'all start taking each other for granted and stuff like that, reminding each other that now a person ain't never been married, like they wouldn't understand that. All they would know is like, oh, this person taking you for granted. Like, yeah, but they've been together for forever and they kind of gotten used to each other. So you definitely got to be careful
There's a
either
lot of
way.
people out here giving advice that don't take their own advice. That's what I like. And it's like,
That's true too.
it's like, brother, what? That
Mhm.
would be good if you applied it in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. They be like, I could never, and they out
you
here
be like,
never like a motherfucker. Like,
go
yeah,
ahead,
I
Shawn.
couldn't.
Yeah, so I think for me, like I think that you kind of got to know your crowd in the
Yeah.
sense of like I know you done been through 3 relationships this month. I ain't even finna talk to you about nothing to do with
Mhm.
no, significant other or whatever. But I think there's also people that like if I was ever having an issue, I'd come and chop it up with Nixon or whatever and be like, or Josh and be like, yo, let me get your perspective on this or whatever. And you kind of show me, where what I may not be seeing. Cause you on the outside looking in, I'm giving you my perspective or whatever. So you might be able to see something that I'm not seeing. And it's just like really, I guess just knowing those people that you can like count on and or vouch for, I guess. Take their word for. Because I got a couple homeboys that I wouldn't ask them nothing about no relationship. But as far as like taking advice from a single person or a divorced person, I think it just kind of depends on the scenario. It's like I said, just knowing your crowd, because you just don't know, brother. Like some stuff they might be able to relate to, like some stuff they might not be able to. Like if I ask you how you came back from cheating, and I know you cheated, in your marriage, and y'all got past that and y'all divorced for something else, then I might talk to you. But if y'all just, I don't know, bro. It's gotta. It depends on the situation. I can't say one size shoe fits all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So last topic then. Uh, we kind of started with it earlier, but it was before we started recording. Um, in 2023, if you was dating, is taking a chick to the Cheesecake Factory a bad idea to take her to for a first date? And yeah,
No, in my opinions, no. It's not a bad place. I actually like the pasta there. I was about to say, I think people live these expectations from what people see on social media. Because of course, social media, nobody ever shows the ugly, it only shows the good, where people actually think they're eating lobster and lamb chops every like 3 times a day, 7 days a week, but it's not real life. But people think they going to these expensive restaurants just off a first date, and I'm gonna spend all this money on you. It's just crazy. Because one, it's not even about the place. I feel you can go to McDonald's or anything. It's the vibe. It's the conversation. Like if you gonna vibe, like you gonna vibe. Especially you're not about to try to downplay the Cheesecake Factory, brother. Like we just
yeah,
can't do that. We just can't do that. I don't care.
yeah,
Even 10 years down, like it's the world we live in, man.
exactly. Like I said, I was just in Cheesecake Factory today, literally today. I mean, granted, it was me and my son. We were just out eating or whatever, and I was looking around. I'm like, I mean, is this? Is it? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah,
it? Is it? I don't know. Let's what is it? Ruth Chris? No, but I mean,
It's
it's
good
a
eating.
yeah, it's a pretty
it gets the job
well
done.
put together place. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I don't know. It's not like people gonna be dancing on top of the tables. You know what I mean? Like it's a pretty fine establishment. Is it fine dining? Probably not. But like that's it. And this is the topic of obviously, if anybody don't know what we getting at, it was something on social media where a guy took a girl to a Cheesecake Factory for a first day. She refused to get out the car because she said she don't eat at chain restaurants. That's not where you take a lady of her stature and all that. And he took her ass back home. But
Couldn't have been more proud of that young man.
yeah, like I was looking at it, I was like, this not even somebody like y'all. It'd have been different if because he met the girl at like at a bar where like I think it was like a work event or something, and y'all kind of went out on a date on a whim. So it's not like y'all been kind of already courting each other, like getting to know each other and stuff like that, and y'all finally decided to go out somewhere to eat. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all met each other, y'all decided to go out on a date. So it's like where you went shouldn't even be like the topic of discussion. It should
Exactly.
be like what like us getting to know each other. Would I take somebody to McDonald's? Probably not. But like Cheesecake Factory is you know what I'm saying? It's a I think that's a fair place to take somebody for a first date. And like I tell like and I only say that to say that's like the first place me and my wife went to get something to eat, and we've been married almost 10 years now. So I don't know. Maybe you need to take your ass to cheesecake. You might get you that guy. And if you need some suggestions, I'll tell you they got a good Cajun jambalaya pasta.
Yeah, that's what I always get.
No, that's what I always get. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of fire. But a cheesecake, get you that Oreo Dream Express, I think is what it's called. Look, I know the menu. I be
He said, "Hey,
so
I'm there." He said, "Hey,
I
I'm
be in
there."
there. Yeah,
What
but
you think, Shawn?
yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe it's a brother. How long we been removed from the dating scene? You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's a different scene now. Maybe it's a
That's the
different.
problem though.
You know,
Hey, they
can't
need to
really.
go back to the old playbook.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you think, look, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, if you in the dating scene, now, granted, those people seemed a little bit older, so they might be a little older than us, like in they probably their 40s, I would assume. But if
Oh no,
you in
you too
your
be acting like that because you
Yeah.
exactly, if you in, which is another thing, I hate to get into this bag, but it's like, baby, you in your 40s and you dating or whatever,
that
which is
time ticking, baby.
perfectly fine, but it's like
Nah, you should have took
you
your ass
just
into
you
a chain
just killed
restaurant.
a part of the dating pool for you by showing that you was materialistic. So like,
Yeah, because it got everybody seen that.
mm-hmm.
Everybody seen that.
I just think anybody with half a brain knows that was just nasty. It was just nasty behavior on her part. You know what I'm
Because yeah,
saying?
my thing
So
is like, even if you did like the restaurant, cool, you could have did that. But the fact that you stopped to pull out your phone to
pull
show
out your phone.
everybody that you
Like
ain't
that's
getting
gonna
out the car.
Right.
Bro said, hey, keep the phone on. You good?
Yep.
You good?
Like I said,
You good?
I'd have been like, oh, okay, let's go to the place that you would like to go. And I'd have pulled up there and I'd have had an Uber waiting for your ass when you got out at that restaurant that you wanted to eat at so bad. And I'd have gave you the option to take your ass in there and fit and buy you something to eat, or you can get into this Uber that I got waiting for you and it's gonna take you home. Like that's all I got for you. Because the moment you start thinking that somebody I just really met like owes me a dinner to yeah, Ruth
A
Chris, or
dinner better
you
than
want
cheesecake.
a $300 dinner for a first date. Just like, damn,
ain't doing that.
like relax. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ain't
that,
doing
and
that.
I'm telling you, setting the bar like like, not that it's not that taking somebody somewhere really nice is setting the bar too high, but the expectation that a first date has to be that is setting the bar way too high, if you ask
Way
me.
too great.
Like, I mean, because like I said, everybody that if I'm still, because we literally not in a relationship, we don't, so now so the expectation of me is to every time I meet a woman and decide to take her out on a date is I should be spending $200, $300, on a meal every time. You
That's
will
Nah.
be single
crazy.
for the rest of your
I
life,
just
because I'm
met you at
not
the
doing it.
bar. You was taking
Right,
shots of your titties.
yeah. Your ass wasn't even drinking
Yeah.
1942. You wasn't even drinking the Neho. You was drinking
The
Yeah.
Silver. You was
1800.
drinking Patron Silver. Right. You was drinking 1800. But now I gotta take you to Eddie V's. Like,
Not gonna
relax.
happen.
No. No,
Not gonna happen.
ma'am.
Relax.
Hey, that dog don't hunt.
Relax.
Hey, at all. At all. No, I think that's
So
crazy. That's
couldn't couldn't be me. That's every time I get on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, it reminds me why I'm happy that I'm not single and dating. Cause I was like, there is definitely, I would say there's pee in the dating pool, but it's shit in that pool at this point. Like, y'all tweaking. Ain't
I
no
mean, I
way,
would
man.
most definitely deal with, whatever little small issues me and my old lady run into, and be out there having to deal with that there. Cause
Yeah,
bro, it's treacherous. It's
Yeah,
treacherous.
crying in the club. It won't
yeah,
be that.
couldn't imagine. That just not. It don't sound fun. Like, damn.
I
Eh,
just feel bad for Buddy though, cause I know he just wanted him a good little meal, man.
You
Probably
can
a drink or
see.
two. He just wanted the vibe. I ain't even seen the video, but I just know, cause man, I probably ain't ate all day. I'm
Yeah.
expecting to go up here and give me a nice little
Because that
plate.
was the crazy thing. Bro was saying like he had a nice reservation book, but she took forever to get dressed, and so they missed the reservation. And then like after bro snapped on her, and he really ain't snapped, he was just like, yo, I'm taking you home. She's like, so you really gonna take me home? He was just like, hey, I don't have a lot of rules, but I do have certain ones, and I don't tolerate disrespect. He said you broke that. That's when she
Mm-hmm.
started apologizing. It sounded cool. I'm sorry. I did. I understand I did take long to get dressed.
They
This is your
said
right.
dude said the crazy thing is dude said that he met her at her house at the time that she was supposed that they agreed on. She didn't come out until an hour later because she got off of work a little bit late. They missed their reservation. And then now, like, if that happened, like that was the part that I just saw last night when I was watching another part of the video. I was like, so if this, like, let's just say that it was his expectation was to take you somewhere nice, and you agreed that I need to go somewhere really nice. Once you was an hour late, I just think it would have been common courtesies to been like, dang, I know we probably
Yeah,
missed
shut
our
up.
reservation. Where do you want like we can go anywhere at this point? Because like at
Hey,
this point, we just want to
we
make
had
sure we
beat
get these
ups.
vibes.
We had beat up watching the game. I'm gonna do something for
Right.
you. Hey, what you wanna go? I know.
You
But the
feel me?
fact that
Like,
she said, "Oh, I'm pulling out my phone. This gonna get me that reservation." Oh, okay. Oh, we back at my house? Yeah, go and
yeah.
get out, man. You good?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
you can
that go
go
back to
ahead.
something we talked about before too. It's just like, why is people's first instinct to like pull out your phone? Like,
Yeah. That should have just it just blows my mind, bro. The
And like
first
I
thing
said,
everybody want to
she
do.
was like 40. I don't understand why we can't say it's just our generation. No, it's just the world now. It's just
Mm-hmm.
first thing, just let me pull out my phone. Bro said, all right.
And that kind of go back to our topic that we talking about because on the little other interview where it was her and dude on there at this other guy's podcast, and she was explaining the reason she did that. She didn't have any malicious intent. It's just she has I think she said she has like a women's group or following where they kind of talk about dating and things like that. And I was like, that go back to like a single motherfucker giving y'all
yeah.
dating advice, and she
You
giving
pull
you
your
a
phone
straight.
out.
Mm-hmm. Right. If he take you somewhere nasty, you need to
Pull your
pull your
phone out.
phone out and record him and let him
Show
know.
him that. And we go
Yeah.
share it. We go share
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah, like I like that's what's more important to people though. These days, that's what's important, people. Like having their phones out, everybody seeing what they did instead of like having a good time. Cause you could have went and had a good time,
A great
you know what
time.
I'm saying? Even if it wasn't like the place you wanted to be, and like y'all got to know each other and stuff, and you let them know, like, hey, usually I wouldn't go to no Cheesecake Factory on the first date, but I was willing to do it to get to know you. So dude can be like, okay, you know, and she still came. She still went, you know what I'm saying? And he explained the reason why he picked Cheesecake Factory after his reservation was canceled was because that's like a place him and his family always love going to. So like it's something like, you know what I'm saying? I took you somewhere I really like to eat at because
And you
you know what I'm
shit it
saying? I
on.
really and you shitted on me. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. And this man probably make who knows how much
Yeah.
money, you know what I'm saying? And
I could
you
have
just
bought
miss
Cheesecake Factory, but
right.
now
like
you could
like
have
man,
changed the name wherever you wanted to. But now,
right.
that's
Yeah, that's the crazy part, man. It's like people just the entitlement from people is just insane, man. So
that is true. I'm about to say it. Like first date is crazy. When I don't even know your last name, I don't
I
know your
think
middle name. You just,
and
I
if you
see
had
you.
drinks at if you get dinner and drinks at Cheesecake, you still gonna end up spending
man,
like you
Whew,
still gonna end up spending about 150, you know what I'm saying? If y'all actually have drinks, you know what I'm saying? Cause shit, when me and Derek was just there, Derek just, you know, my son, he just had some corn dogs and I had like the pasta and a lemonade, and that was $50. So like just
yeah,
imagine two adults eating and having drinks. Like you gonna spend about 150. So it's not like
Should have
you
took a
like I
Bojangles.
yeah, like right. It's not like I took you to McDonald's and you got, you know what I'm saying,
big
a
cheap.
Dollar
freaking
menu.
Powerade,
Yeah,
you know
you
what I'm
get a
saying?
dollar
Like
menu.
if the spot got good food, got okay food and alcohol to buy, like I think that's an okay place to go for a first date. Like it's not like I don't know, you want somewhere where they pulling your chair out and bring you complimentary drinks because of how expensive the menu's gonna be on a first date. It's like, bro, you yeah.
But
See,
you know
that's
what
why.
though? I think like for the guys that's watching and stuff like that, the single guys, I think that would be even more of a reason to start taking them to Buffalo Wild Wings or Applebee's or something. Like, let me see how you react. Like, let me see how you react. And then maybe the second time, everything goes according, then okay, boom, we could do, whatever X, Y,
No,
and
no.
Z. But
See, that's horrible advice. That's horrible advice. Let me give y'all some advice. This is what you do. Because I'm a Twitter connoisseur. This is what you do. This has been getting a lot of reshares. All you need is an air mattress, some Hennessy, a home cooked meal of your choice. Listen. A
Oh
home cooked
God.
meal of your choice. Whether it's most go to is gonna be fried chicken, macaroni, and cheese. A good movie, vibes are immaculate. If nobody can't vibe with that,
You gonna
bro,
you
you
gonna be
good.
blacklisted from all the ass in your tri-state area. Just know you're not getting none. You can call it a wrap on that.
Nah, bro, it
But
had like 100 likes and a lot of people like 100,000. It was going crazy. A
that's
lot of people
100
said they
people
like
that ain't gonna be getting none if they do that.
it.
But I'm telling you, bro, if you can't eat at the Cheesecake Factory,
Nah,
like,
for real.
I
and
don't
then
know what to
But that's
tell you.
crazy though to think
nothing on
like,
the menu for everybody.
cause
The
I
menu
used
is
Yeah,
5 pages long.
Cause I used
yeah.
to think like the Cheesecake Factory was like to me on the same level like Ruth Chris, like far as money wise and
That's what I
stuff.
thought
And
too.
like
I ain't
to
gonna lie.
Nah.
think,
For the longest,
but
that's what I thought.
still,
Oh,
like
y'all
even spending
tweaking.
like,
Hey,
cause I'm gonna
brother,
say I don't know no cheese in Mississippi. I
ain't
never been no
no brother.
cheesecake. Yeah,
We barely
I
got
went
an
to San,
Applebee's.
yeah, I'm gonna say in San Antonio. That's the only time I see Cheesecake Factory, and I was like, at North Star, I ain't going to that. I ain't got the bread for that.
And then you
And
walk
so,
inside, got the painted ceilings and the
yeah,
The
tapered
already.
lights
off and
all
stuff.
low.
Bro, you can't.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the
That's
lights
all
is
my tax
low.
bracket.
Yeah, I'm about to say, hey, what I walk in there? Hey, what can you get? I'll take some water, sir.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? The
they don't
lights
even have
is
the prices on
dim.
the menu. Half of them.
But I will say that's
Hey,
the crazy part. Just like how it evolved. Like what that's 10 years ago until now, where people is saying they bashing the cheesecake factory. Well,
Yeah, man. It's
hey, the
just getting
place we need
money
to bash
culture.
is Five Guys. That's what we need to bash. We need to bash
Yeah,
places like that. And just
yeah,
taking all our
man,
money for
fuck
no
that.
reason.
Well,
yeah. I just
last
couldn't
time I got it.
imagine. I couldn't imagine. That's what I'm so glad I'm not in the dating market at this in this day and age because that should just seem so trash now. Everything you do, like even I'm glad I'm not even in the going to the club scene no more because I be seeing
Woo,
nowadays
man.
like everything is about like when we was going to the club, they didn't even really have sections like that to buy. Like it was like maybe one
You was
section in the whole
and
club
it was
that
lonely in there. It was lonely in
yeah,
that section.
nobody
Everybody was
right
on the
or
hey,
on the
vibing
floor. Like they'll say, "Oh, this whole buying sections
for 2,500.
and
Be by
right,
yourself.
just to
Uh,
smoke hookah and drink a bottle of Hennessy." Like, nah,
man,
That costs
look.
$200. The Hennessy bottle
yeah,
alone costs 200.
This is probably about, I say probably about a year ago. Me and a couple of my homeboys, we was like, hey, let's just go to, it's a little lounge or whatever. And they sell food and all that. We was like, let's just go there, have a guys' night and, just chill, have a couple of drinks, whatever. Brother, we got there. They said, okay, they want us to sit at the bar, but it's like 5 of us. So we like, well, it's kind of hard to sit at the bar. So like they had tables in there or whatever. I was like, well, can we sit at the table? They was like, well, in order to sit at the table, you got to buy a bottle. So I'm like, okay, well, like, let's see what the bottle is. Brother, it was a bottle of Tito's. And at that time, Tito's was $13 a bottle, brother. That
yeah,
bottle cost us $175 that night. And then they wouldn't
yeah,
let you take the bottle, dog. We're gonna finish this bottle today. Hey,
yeah.
between us, we gonna finish this. I was
Well, I
like, bro,
wish you
this
would
is
tell me I can't take my $170 bottle with Tito's. Either I'm walking out with it or it's going out upside your goddamn head. Would you think you about to take it and then recap it and make people pay $15 for a
$15 a
shot of it?
shot.
Like,
Crazy.
I
Crazy.
will
say,
say, I'm so glad the clubs, I'm gonna say, I remember so many nights. Braxton got my car towed one night.
no, you got my
Uh,
car towed. This motherfucker had the nerve. This man got my
oh
car towed,
yeah.
and then we gonna come outside. He gonna say, "Did you move the car, bro?" I was like, "Motherfucker, I've been standing next to you this whole night in the club. You know my car got towed, man.
Oh yeah. I begged bro to go to the club that night too, and that shit
I
ended
did
up
not
being
want to
dead as
go.
hell. And then
It was
came
like
out.
10 people.
And then we came out. Bro, like, yeah, let go. I was like, yeah, man, let go. I already got my drink in. Went outside. I said, shit, bro, you moved the car.
It's like,
That
no.
nigga said, no, bro.
That'd be the worst, man. Because then it'd be the worst night. Because then be the night you just trying to go straight home.
Hey,
Yeah.
Diener, 175 for a bottle of Tito's is crazy.
It's crazy.
Insane.
You better than me because
Insane.
ain't
Yeah, I
no
ain't gonna lie. I
way.
thought you
That
was
was the
gonna say
cheapest thing
like,
on the menu, brother. I was just trying to sit down at that point.
damn.
Like,
Yeah, I can see. There's
I'd have
one
been
bad
sitting
ankle person
in
to
the back
another.
of an Uber. I'd have
I
been
ain't gonna
sitting
lie.
there.
The one time I did, I think only like 2 sections. One, like we went in for DJ birthday, and that was so bad because again we were supposed to be in there. DJ took the bottle and went on the dance floor, was pouring everybody shots. He was like, "Hey, whoa, 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 hey brother." We had
I was
like three
drunk as hell
bottles. He
that
took
night.
the bottle of Douce. Was like, "Oh, excuse me." People, of course, everybody was just free. They're like, "Yeah."
Man, tweaking.
Hey, brother, you don't get that bottle back in here.
Yeah,
But
man.
those was fun times. Glad they over.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just not that. That's just not how it is these days no more. So I don't want it. I don't want no parts of it. They can have that.
Nah, for real. For real. I
me.
just want you say that. It's too much drama now. I feel like it's just because that's why Shay wanted me to because Ride Wave coming down here next month, I believe. And she was like, "Oh, you gonna take Ada?" I said, "To Baltimore?" I said, "What?" I
No,
said,
I'm
if
not
I do
taking
a
it.
show, if I do a show, they got one in DC. I would take that 45-minute drive before I take this 15. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
said, because I can tell you now, I have the time of my life at the concert, but then my life could be potentially over
You
right
might
after.
get shot.
Yeah, well, ain't no
Yeah.
mic. Somebody is, and I feel bad. I feel bad. And I hope there's a medic somewhere.
I seen in Houston, there was like this is what I say that whole get money culture is just getting ridiculous. They was in the club, they was like the sections was like having this like I got
Oh
more
my
money than
God,
you think, where they
that
was
was the
buying bottles from the bar and just pouring it out on the floor and like just to show who got more money. I was like, boy, this is sick. Like imagine spending your money to get in the club just to watch people pour alcohol on the floor.
I just
Get
want to say
that.
I'm mad at the person who got cleaned up. Like, hey, y'all could have picked a better time to do this. Like, the
Yeah.
whole flow is rotten now. We gotta.
Yep.
How about you just buy bottles and pass them out? Like, why would you pull it out? Like, I
That
just
makes no
get
sense
that.
to show like I waste money. I can waste the most money. Oh, I'm proud of you, you ignorant mother.
Yeah.
I
But
see
I
that
like
was
to
like
think,
I pray this is not
I haven't
real.
seen it, but I like to think even if I had a
It was
billion
in
dollars,
Houston, I think.
It was actually Detroit versus Houston. Just want to throw that out there
No,
too.
it wasn't, man.
It
Was it
was.
for real?
It was.
Okay.
Because that's why they were trying to show each other who get more money. And I was like, or we can come together and say, hey, we can pay for everybody a drink in here. And they'll show
Yeah.
like, or instead, no, let me get the ace of spade. Yeah. How about that? I don't care. I'm gonna pour it out. Meanwhile, I'm over there with my cup. I was like, hey, real quick, before you
Mm-hmm. They pouring it out. You and slid
bro,
up under it.
bro doing a little Kim trying to get
He
that,
getting
get that.
money.
Hey, do y'all judge people if they throw money at the strip club and take it back?
Yeah. Hey, nah, you know what though? I had a homeboy that did that.
I had a cousin that did that. We was at a bachelor party.
Shit, I
And he
did
didn't
it.
think nobody stepped. He ain't seen nobody. He stepped on him like, ugh. And he slowly sent his foot. Everybody was like, but he did throw it back. He was just recycling it though.
Yeah,
Yeah. When my homeboy was going to the Navy, this was when before I joined the military. So like it was my other homeboy owned a tattoo shop. So they had like
Oh,
closed
snap.
the tattoo shop early and they had some like strippers come through or
Oh,
whatever.
that's some
And I
Detroit
didn't
shit.
yeah, I didn't know that it was like I didn't know that I didn't know what was going on. No, I was just pulling up to talk shit. And I knocked on the door and they was about to be they was like it's closed and they seen me and they was like, oh yeah, come in. Then I come in and like they got the little strobe lights on and all that stuff. I'm like, what the fuck going on? And I look over and it's like the strippers or whatever. And I just happen to have like maybe like $20-$30 in ones on me. So I'm like, oh, I didn't got in or whatever, throwing the money and stuff. But they didn't it wasn't no ATM machine in there or whatever. So they had already been paid to come there anyway. So like I'm throwing the money. And then I run out of money. but the chick ain't what I'm thinking. She ain't paying no attention. So some of the money fell back onto my like on my lap. So I started throwing more money, and then it was like some money was falling on my foot. I didn't grab that money, start throwing it. I look over, and TJ is looking at me. It's like shaking his head, like you horrible. I was like, hell nah. And then the next day, because we at this point we like drunk out our minds. So then the next day he gonna say, "Yeah, I remember seeing you picking up your own money and throwing it. That chick really thought you was like just throwing bread like that." But yeah, that's the only time I ever did that though.
Hey, at least you can. I did hear stories about some people actually keeping it. So
Yeah, oh no,
recycling game
I
is
wouldn't
game.
keep. I don't even like strip club to be honest. Though. I don't care for them. It's
No
not my
facts.
thing.
I don't come see.
So I would just sometimes every once in a while it's like a hey if everybody else you know what I'm saying there and you know that's the thing to do I do it but like it's
Nah,
not my
my broke
thing.
days. That's the only time I went. Because when I get dollars, steak and fries, and they were showing the playoff games. Well, they had no
Yeah, now
cable.
strip club definitely be having
So
good money. I mean
yeah, they
good
had
food. They
the
be having good food.
and they had the pay-per-view with all the UFC fights. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they definitely
Oh
be
yes,
having good
sir.
food in there, but just to go, nah, it's not my thing.
Nah, agree. Agree.
Yeah. But all right, we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Nixon, what did you say you had something to promote?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Shawn.
No, I ain't had none, brother.
Oh,
It was
okay,
all you.
okay. Shit. I don't got nothing to promote.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's been an episode, the New Hood Podcast. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think. If you got any questions, topics, if you want to come on and talk your shit with us, hit us up. But yep.
I bet. All right, ended the stream. Start this year.